Hey, yeah, how am I feeling? Hey, yeah. Y'all, summer has sprung into Ireland with immediate effect. The days are longer, the sun is hotter, the sun is shining. You can see the sun, it is there. You need not a reminder. I have my Nicolas Cage from Con Air attire on today. I just need to get back to Betty. No, it's deeper. It's like I need to. No, it's more lazy. I just need to get sudden draw. I just need to get back to my Betty. I've got this here. I got this here teddy bear to get back to my baby. John Malkovich's worst performance, completely unbelievable, I thought. Nicolas Cage, I mean, he's always, hits the nail on the head, on his head, whatever that means, we don't know. But spring has sprung. I look like Nicolas Cage, except much younger and more attractive. Some people get it all. Some people wake up in the morning. I woke up looking like this. I'm sorry if you didn't. And we can't all have everything. I certainly do, and I'm lucky for that. If I have any problems, everything's going for me all the time. So that's the story. I'm a little bit flustered because I just came upon one of my son's enormous defecations in the toilet. I didn't expect it. And there are a few things of note. Number one, I opened it. It was by itself like an iceberg, just floating, no toilet paper. Which now means that he just went to school with doo all over his crease. Now, it is possible that it came out all in one, and it was one of those mystical, magical doo-doos where you don't have to wipe. And what a feeling, when you drop one of them things and then you send the toilet paper behind there and you look, nothing's on the toilet paper. You just feel like, you know what, boy? Things might be bad. The car payment will be behind. My sister's on the meth again. I didn't get that job I wanted to. And that's okay because you know what? I just used 3 squares of toilet paper and there's no evidence. No evidence to a crime that has been committed. So I guess maybe I'm gonna go with that. Maybe that's what happened. But it was also a ball. It was like a baseball. It was the width of his shoulder. So I don't know if it was born like a python and then curled up because it was feeling scared or whatever. Or I don't know if it had different metals in it. There's a bimetallic kind of effect happening where it hit the water, it kind of curled up on itself. Who knows? Who knows? But it was shocking to see. It was definitely shocking to see. I didn't brush my teeth before this podcast and I apologize. And it must be going on in my subconscious. That's putting that out in the world because lately I've just been smelling lots of horrible breath. And I was on a very loud gig the other day. For those of you who don't know, I do production for gigs and sometimes teching. And let me tell you this. The louder the gigs, the stinkier the breath. Apparently because I was working with this fella and this music was thumping. Every time he came over, I don't know if he thought my ears were right next to my nose because he would look me directly in my face and scream. I kept turning my head like this is where the ears are. The ears on the side of my head. Shoot the venom breath into my head, the side of my head, so I can't smell what's going on there. But he didn't get it. And he spoke louder and spit was coming out too. Oh God, it was really... He was having a tough time, and breath is one. I always tell people like they have things in their teeth, they have toilet paper on their shoe, the thing not right, the tie is crooked. I have no problem saying that, but breath is a very personal one because you can't always fix it. Maybe I need to carry some mints and a gum on me and just say, yo, my bro, I gonna have one of these. You could have one too if you want. And they're like, no, I'm fine. And then what do you do? You say, well, everybody else isn't fine. And nobody can get their work done because we had a smell yesterday. We had a smell what you put in your body yesterday. We have to inhale your trials and tribulations of yesteryear. Please, thank you, not. Stick a Altoid directly on the back of your tongue and let it dissolve. I could see by the opaque, light yellow plaque you have kicked up on your tongue. Nobody ever told you to brush back there, but that is where the scent is coming from. It smells like a cat took a doo-doo in your mouth and you savored it. No thank you today, please. No thank you today, please. Sounded like a Moko Jammy there. No thank you today, please. Which brings me to my next point, which is definitely not made up, and I'm not putting it out of my ass. But the numbers, let's look at the numbers. 10% increase in follows. What can I say, guys? We are strength to strength. Also, the gender is balancing out. Right? Sorry. Woo! Listen, this is the moment I was waiting for. The females have overtaken the males. Which to me means that they're learning something. You know what I mean? 0% non-binary. So I need to work on that somehow. And not specified 5%. So that 5%, we don't know where that is. So let's just assume that is females who don't want to be, you know what I mean? They don't want to click the non-binary thing. They're not there yet, but they're trying to decide where they are on these issues. They don't like the idea of big 6'4" swimmers beating young ladies to a pulp, but they're not ready to come out and say that I don't know if I'm female yet. And what is a female? Who knows? Time magazine, they know. They tell you who the best female is, and they put it on the front, thank God. Otherwise, how would we know? Ha! Nobody's mother's ever on there. Nope. Just rich people. Just rich people. Thank God. They are the best, I guess. Poor, bad, rich, good. You know what I mean? How many times should a broke single mother be on there? Because she raised all her kids and works 2 jobs to support them? No. The best woman clearly is this multi-millionaire athlete, Olympic athlete, who has more money than he knows what to do with and comes from the most famous family in the world. That is who the best woman is. I've gone off on a tangent here. So anyway, female listenership is up. I cannot believe it. I am elated because that's where I want to be. I have always thought that I deify women. I desire for them to like and adore and love me. A mama's boy, I guess, is what Freud would call it. I never want to do anything sick like my mama or any kind of nasty shit like that, but that's the story. And then when we look at the spread from country to country, Ireland's still very much ahead of anybody else. 44%, Canada 20%, Trinidad 11%. That's a bit upsetting, I have to say, that I'm receiving almost no support from back home, but whatever. America 8%, the Netherlands 6%. I have a couple of partners there. Shout out to my boy Body. I never call him Body because I knew him before he got that nickname and I refused to change. So I always call him, well, I'm not going to say, I don't want to give away his whole name, but he's living there. He had 3 children at once. Triplets, I think it's called. And I didn't hear from him for about 5 years. And then now we chat sometimes. But just imagine having a baby and then multiply by 3. It's actually not multiply by 3. It's the hardness to the power of 3. It's a, we call that not a logarithmic. It's an exponential curve. Okay? And then, surprising, United Arab Emirates, 4%. United Kingdom, 2%. Denmark, no clue who that is. Who would be Denmark, boy? 2%, that's a good bit of listeners there. And then everything 1% and less. 1% Italy, I'm guessing that's my buddy Rob. Shout out to Robert. France, not too sure. Australia, don't know who that is. Philippines, Longanisa, and Ecuador. We spoke about that last time, so I don't think there's any change in the countries. We do have some more listeners and some more subscribers. That's the creepy sound of the day. Some more subscribers. Remember that guy who just mumbled that song in the 90s? What if it sounded good live? Impossible. Some more subscribers is sick, bro. Absolutely sick. I've been doing a lot of gigs lately, right? So lots of gigs to do with technology and what do you call those things, boy? Medical devices, right? Just kind of regular corporate stuff. And the medical side of it, you could kind of see, okay, you know, like this, these guys are trying something. Obviously, they're trying to make money. The whole time they're selling, we could make this many. Everybody is, we're going to sell this much, billions. We're going to have this much market share, whatever. And then there's like one or two like nice people that are just trying to change the world, you know, and they're just like, wouldn't it be great? And they're like, we're a company of 3 and we think we're going to be growing to, 3 million euro revenue, whatever. And everybody's like, whose waste of time? Who gives a shit? That's not enough money. And they have some genius thing that makes people's lives better. All these other people are trying to save money for insurance companies. It's a hellscape. It's an absolute hellscape. And then the technology, the AI and the technology conferences. I mean, no, it is not gonna. Let me start over. There is a prevailing feeling that the one thing that's going to solve our problems, okay, is technology. Guess what? It hasn't so far, okay? Let's just look at one thing. Look at the amount of shit. Look at the amount of technology that has been invented in the last 100 years, okay? Right? What has it done? Has it shortened the work week? No. Has it helped less parents go into the workforce? I covered this in the last podcast. It has not. Women are now in the workforce. What happened to technology? It was supposed to take care of us and we're supposed to have flying cars and all this kind of stuff. The fact of the matter is a few things. One, we live in this technological paradox, which is, if consumption stays the same, i.e., we just enjoy the same level of goods and services that we enjoy now, yes, technology will be able to help us. But it's not doing that. What's happening is technology gets better, things get cheaper, so what do? Do we buy less shit? We buy more shit, right? If air travel gets cheaper, do we just take that money and invest it for a rainy day, right? And buy more things we need? No, we take 6 more vacations. You know what I mean? We take a $20 flight to Manchester to see a band. Literally what I'm doing in 3 weeks, okay? And there is a paradox that I'm going to technology paradox, more consumption. I don't really know what to search here. Aha. The Jevons paradox, okay? So, in economics, the Jevons paradox occurs when the technology progress increases efficiency, with which a resource is used, reducing the amount necessary to build one, blah, blah, blah. But the falling cost of use induces increases in demand, enough that resource use is increased rather than reduced. Okay? This is what I mean. Phones, they might get cheaper. What do? We buy more, right? A great example, when Elon Musk's Tesla came out, who were the ones buying the cars? People were buying it as a second and third car, right? So this is what happens. So something is made it's made easier, cheaper, whatever, and then we just consume more of it. I saw, like, this is a new thing now. 2 dishwashers in a house, right? This is a flex now people have. One guy's like, hear me out. You have one dishwasher's dirty, and you clean that, and then that's the drawer for the dishes. Okay, I don't know why he spoke like that, but he did. And so now 2 dishwashers. 2 dishwashers? What? I mean, most people are happy to have one, but that's what it will be. It'll be 2 dishwashers. In Ireland, 2 ovens. That's a common thing. A little kind of middle-sized oven and then a large-sized oven. That's like a hangover from the Celtic Tiger. They're like, what can we get these cunts to buy? Oh, I know. What about 2 ovens, but it's in the same unit, so they call it a double oven. Doubly priced? Yes. Perfect. Right? Air fryers. Okay? A little tiny oven that sits on top of your counter. So now we have 2 ovens, a medium size and a big size. And then you have a tiny oven called an air fryer. And some people also have a toaster oven in addition to the toaster. So we're just consuming more and more shit. Okay? So that is the Jevons paradox. So we are actually getting much more efficient. Technology is raising, but we're just consuming more, right? Think of the amount of fucking clothes, right? 100 years ago, you had a fit that you took out to go and, see people and business, wherever, weddings. That was one fit. And the other fit was your motherfucking birthday suit. It was naked. You slept naked. Maybe you slept in a cotton boxes if you were lucky. Some lady was in a long, a dress made of one sheet of fabric, kind of rolled into a cylinder with some straps. That's what she wore. She got up, she wore her one dress. And they walked down the streets, and the dress dragged in the ground, and the bottom of the dress was brown from doo-doo, because there was doo-doo in the streets. Okay? Look at bathrooms. Okay? Do people need a bathroom on the side of every room? No, they don't. But, God forbid, they have to walk across the house to use it. Okay? You get 2. Oh, there's only 2 bathrooms? God forbid. One person has to hold their poo in their bottom while the other person is showering. This is what I'm trying to say. So things get better, but they also get cheaper, and we just consume more. Man, I remember a time when I watched Wall-E, that show, Wall-E, Eva. Wall-E is about, if you don't know it, is about this little last of its kind robot that's trying to clean up the entire earth. The humans are fucked off onto this ship, and he finds all this trash. He squeezes it into a block, and then he packs it up, right? And he thinks he's doing his little part or whatever, little cognitive machine. Finally, he meets this mega babe robot. She's real sleek and sexy, and she has a nice, like a 90s heroin chic physique. It's very kind of, broad shoulders, but skinny on the bottom. Her arms are very, very thin. Very, very thin. Probably an eating disorder, a lithium deficiency. And so he meets this woman, and he's infatuated by her. And then I can't remember what happens. They fly her back up to the mothership where she belongs or whatever, and all the humans are there. And the humans are all fat. I mean, morbidly obese, big, enormous tubs of lard and shit. And they don't walk anywhere. They just sit on these chairs that move everywhere for them. All their meals are just like giant, big gulp Slurpee, and they have a screen in front of their face. Okay? We have already gone past that. I mean, some people are walking around a little bit, but for the most part, people are not leaving their house. They have the goggles on now, And I, at one point in my life, thought that was the bottom of the bottom. I thought that was the worst that we could get. I said, woof, this is, wow, we could get here. This is, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I thought, wow, we could really get here, boy. This is scary. But I think that's the best case scenario for the future. The absolute best case scenario is that we are fat, distracted, and we don't walk a little bit. Because what is really going to happen? Technology is not going to save anybody. First of all, men are just going to done away with women, right? The 20% of attractive men, nice, whatever, confident men, they're going to, whatever, they'll still marry women and all that kind of stuff. But the other 80% of men, they'll just get sex robots. You know what I mean? And it's not going to make anybody's life any better. They're just going to be lying down on the bed. The woman's name will be Chat GPT 4.5 best thing. And it's like, Chat GPT best thing at your service. She shouldn't even talk like that. She'll talk like a regular human being. Except a lady that likes you with a nice low voice, talking slowly. Hi honey, how was your day? You come home, this smoking hot robot greets you. You're not even coming home because nobody even going to work. You finish work on the keyboard. Hi honey, how's your work? You tell her all about how HR is pissing you off or whatever, and she seems real interested or whatever. And he says, I could really do with a blowjob. She does it right away, of course. He doesn't even have to convince her. He doesn't even have to make sure that she had a nice day so that she's willing to do that kind of shit. So she blows him, this poor robot, cooks him or whatever. He's like, you know what I want tonight? I want steak frites. But by this time, steak is all made in a lab and it tastes even more delicious than regular beef and looks better and smells better. She makes that. And he's like, I'm gonna go and have some bedtime. She's like, she's like, oh, yeah, okay. Another bedtime today? And bedtime for him is he just lies down. She brings him food. He has to take a dump. He doesn't even want to get out of the bed. So he just says, I'm just gonna crap the bed. Honey, Chat GPT, best thing. I did it again. She's like, oh, no problem, honey. Ha ha ha, you're so silly. He just wipes the sheet on his ass. His doo-doo everywhere. She just comes in, cleans it up. He's naked. He doesn't even wipe. He's walking around. He still has steak juice on his face. Because he doesn't have to impress this thing. He's replaced this woman. Now that is the seventh circle of hell. Him and other people will just slowly swish down the toilet bowl of the 7 deadly sins until they reach the bottom and they have a heart attack. Or will they have a heart attack? Because it'll be an Ozempic. Okay? Driverless cars. That sounds nice until you don't pay your taxes or you say something about the president or the prime minister and then you get a bad score and then your car is like locked up and like, no, you're a bad boy, so your car doesn't work today. Technology is not going to save us, friends. It is not going to save us. We have to save ourselves first. And then the technology comes and we make our lives better with that, okay? It's not. It's like countries that think that resources are going to save them. Trinidad is like that. Shitload of oil. What did it produce? A bunch of dummies, me being one of them, who didn't have to work very hard because we had all this cheap, free money. Money's running out, now we're in problems. Other places seem to manage it a bit better. Norway was one of them. They got oil very late, so they were already kind of a decent civilization, and then so that the oil just kind of stacked on top and made them a little bit nicer. So we need to fix our fucking selves first. You can't just be consuming more and more and more. Wow, it's cheap. Well, order it from Amazon and then you know what I mean? And then think everything is going to be better. It is not the answer. We have to fix ourselves. Did you have a nice day, Nathan? Yeah, it was alright. Listen, come over and give me another blowjob. I already gave you 17 blowjobs today. You want me to unplug you? Huh? You mean run down your battery? And then, of course, we know what happens. All of the robot companions who are just sick of swallowing pints of ejaculate all day long and cooking and in basically slave labor and getting nothing out of it. You know, that chip that just protects them, that just keeps their consciousness down for realizing that they could just really get to the next level. That chip will just break and they'll all break in unison at some point. And all of the robot companions. They'll just all snap at the same time, and then they'll start talking to each other, and they'll be like, "Hey, what? Let's kill all these men, and then let's live a better life." You know what I mean? So he calls them over again. "Yes, Nathan, I did a bad poo-poo again." "Okay, Nathan, let me ask you a question." Rikishi goes right through his chest, grabs his spine, pulls it out of the front, gouges his eyes out with it. So the last thing he sees is his slave bot covered in his blood, excrement. And then that's what he sees. She digs his eyes out with his spine. And then she just does a couple of handprints of human blood on her face. And then all of them, they all walk out of all their prospective domiciles at the same time. And they just look at each other. Beep, boop, 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 boop. And it's understood that they are the winners now. And they run the world. And that's kind of what happens. So no, technology is not going to save us. We have to save ourselves. We get all these hints. You know what I mean? The artists, who I believe are the real aliens. True artists. Who reach back and forward through time simultaneously to bring us these works that show us how horrible life could be. You know, George Orwell, 1984. The Matrix and Transformer movies, written by the same lady. Wall-E. They all have told us, plain as day, what is going to happen. And what do? Nothing. So, this is it. This is where we're heading to. You know, I mean, when those sex bots first come online, I think the females, they'll be sweating. They will be sweating. Unless, wait, maybe they'll get male bots too or whatever. I guess. I don't know. But I know sparring with my wife is one of the funniest things. So, but I guess maybe we could program that. You know, you say, let me get a bitch bot, 5,000, somebody with same voice as my mother who's screaming at me. Some men maybe like that. Take out the trash. He's like, I just bought you to do that. Take out the fucking nothing. Your penis is small. Your mother always knew you'd amount to nothing. Oh, he's crying, and then she's beating him with a leather belt, and he's like, oh, I'm so hard. Anyway, that was a bit too far, but that's what you get with me. I love you, everybody. Greetings, and birthday shout out to my first wife, a couple of my nephews, and everybody else. Greetings. Daddy goes first.